Understanding emotional trauma. A traumatic event is a shocking, scary, or dangerous experience that affects someone emotionally by negatively affecting their sense of security. These situations may be natural events, like a tornado or earthquake. They can also be caused by other people, like a car accident, abuse, neglect, crime, divorce, or an act of terrorism. Everyone experiences emotional trauma through their lives. Two people can experience the same event, like a car accident, but one may experience emotional trauma or a loss of their sense of security, and the other may not. It is often hard to know how trauma will affect someone, especially if that trauma takes place over a long period of time, like with abuse and neglect. The trauma you experience can have a dramatic effect on many parts of your life. It can make you feel anxious, make it hard to concentrate and sleep, make it hard to remember and learn, give you headaches or stomach aches, make you cry or be angry, and make you react in ways you wouldn't have before the trauma. When it's a one-time big event, like being robbed, it's easier to connect the dots between the event and the bad feelings afterwards. When it's an ongoing daily trauma, like what happens when you live in an abusive or neglectful situation, it may be harder to understand the connection. Trauma when you are very young is especially harmful. Two important processes take place when we are young that affect how we build relationships through our entire lives. Attachment is the process of building trusting relationships with our caregivers when we are infants. We cry, someone responds positively, then we learn to trust and feel valued. If during that time our caregiver repeatedly responds negatively or doesn't respond at all, we receive negative messages that tell us we are unlovable, not important, or even don't exist. If it is imprinted in our brain that we aren't important, we may allow people to treat us poorly and think that destructive relationships are normal. Self-regulation is the ability to control your emotions and actions according to your situation. As you grow from toddler to child to teenager, your caregivers teach and coach you on how to act and react. For example, a 5-year-old knowing that it's not okay to throw tantrums in the store when he doesn't get what he wants. When self-regulation doesn't happen, it can contribute to challenges functioning as you move into adulthood. For example, instead of listening to coaching or criticism from a boss, you instead get angry, quit, and storm out. Our brains. Understanding what happens in your body during emotional trauma can be helpful to working through the long-term impact. Your brain is wired to help ensure your safety when bad things happen. You may have heard of the flight or fight response you have when you are frightened. When something bad or scary happens, your brain releases toxic stress hormones and nerve stimuluses that cause you to be super alert. That's why your heart may beat really fast. It's preparing you to fight, freeze, or run away. Your brain also shuts down access to parts of itself to ensure all of your energy is focused on your response. This includes the parts of your brain devoted to communication, learning, and making good decisions. When the trauma is a one-time event, again, like being robbed, your body's chemical response returns to normal fairly quickly, even if your sense of security takes longer to get back. If you are reminded of the robbery because you are walking down the street and hear footsteps behind you, it may return. This is called a trigger because it triggers a similar response to the actual robbery. When it's an ongoing, repeated trauma, again like abuse or neglect, your body can actually get stuck in the flight or fight response. When you are always on alert, you may not understand why you are having challenges thinking clearly, learning, or why you cry or are angry often. Knowing how trauma works, Identifying the traumatic events you have experienced and understanding how they may have impacted your life is a powerful way to find closure and heal. Take a minute to think about a traumatic event in your life and how it affected you. Can you see how things that happened a long time ago may still be hurting you today?